if there's content that's borderline, that's content that we basically will not.
There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset.
I respect you, and I have a great deal of appreciation to you, JF.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to JFG Tonight. I'd like to share some philosophical thoughts on the pimp-simp dichotomy, sex, and this story in which I fell down the rabbit hole yesterday. Just ended on a bizarre stream invited by... The story is long, but someone told me, Jeff, go watch this stream. And I watched it. And I got drawn into a world of comics, fans, simps, OnlyFans girls exploiting these comics fans with porn that is specialized for them. And I'm just fascinated at the biology here. And we need to talk about this because it's the biology of cancel culture, the biology of female control. And ultimately, what is the female imperialist project and what it implies? This constant female control over culture by canceling specific male types, by giving themselves to other male types. And it's really a world in reverse what's happening. It's a world in which this comic books... community on the internet, which I don't know about these things. I know it distantly. Like I know, okay, that's a comic book, but I don't know. I don't engage with the content within the comic books. I don't understand what's fascinating about them, but I understand the autism, and so these people are just communities. They stream. They make small streams. And there's a current scandal that has been spread over the last year or two. They're trying to cancel a guy. But as I review the evidence more and more, and as I dig through these live streaming, I see just a guy who tried his shot. A guy who tried his shot on an OnlyFans girl. And it's like, we have to create a culture in which not only is this acceptable, but we should elevate these guys as heroes. Because the fact is, OnlyFans culture is a sterile environment. It is an anti-natalist environment that is really a thorn in the family, in the modern family. This idea that you can separate sex, like hedonistic sex, pleasure sex, watching naked females, this part of sex, you can separate it from having babies. And then you can sell this. Then you can satisfy the male instinct with all this delusion of the false sex. Because sex has only one function. It is to make babies. So every time you engage in any porn or OnlyFans stuff, you are engaging in what is socially destructive, what is a fraudulent market. You are deceiving your genes into thinking that maybe you have a chance. And so there's some degree of pathetism in the messages that we will review. But in the end, what we have is a guy who has fully respectfully engaged in some degree of sexual banter with a OnlyFans woman who led him on, who appeared on his streams, who developed a collaboration with him, who talked geek with him, who appeared publicly with him and is now dropping him under the bus for no reason at all, just for mockery, really. So it's like we have to stop this culture of mocking the male who's trying to fix everything that is sick about this society. And we have to elevate them as heroes. As far as I'm concerned, Frog Tony is a hero for standing up to an anti-natalist culture and saying, I will shoot my shot. And it's not like he did it at enormous cost to himself. Now, he may be ridiculed for weeks or years because people are now laughing at these hilarious DMs in which he suggests that she should become his pet elf. We'll get into the details, okay? It goes deep. But it's like, knowing that this is all sexual banter of ultimately a guy who says, hey, here's a woman who's showing me signs of common interest to me, who's constantly updating me in DM. Oh, I'm just waking up. How are you doing? Oh, let's do a stream together. Oh, here I'm appearing on your stream for months. That is definitely a woman with whom you have to shoot your shot. If there's anything that we should reproach to Frog Tony is if he hadn't done it. Any woman who approaches you like this has to receive direct proposition for insemination. Immediate. If you think Frog Tony's DMs are ridiculous or laughable or too present or too hard, you should see my DM. You should see my DMs. There is not a woman who can say hello to me without me directly asking for when is it that I can come inside of you. That should be the standard. So it's ridiculous to see this SJW crowd of like they are really anti-romance. That's what they are. They are a bunch of sterile, childless, pathetic, anti-romance, just rumor spreaders of the internet. Ha ha ha, look at him. He's making jokes to her about maybe having a blowjob. Ha ha ha. No, Frog Tony has done exactly what should be done. And he's done it now at a cost for his reputation and for mockery on the internet. But he has played the game to the maximum effort. And I commend the effort. So what is this story? Well, it starts with this woman, Dirty Dalish. So she's a porn star who is trying to rise in the last few years, being specifically a porn star for OnlyFans consumers from geeks. Geeks, comic book fans, geeky people who like PC games and stuff, and elf-themed sexuality. So she's really one of these. I was commenting on my tweet thread, which I've given the link below. There is a new race of OnlyFans specialization. Because it's like there's millions of women. There's millions of women. Romance or romance? Romance. Love. This is what I'm talking about. Love. I'm talking about the mechanism by which we take these fucking Californian, male-exploiting, succubus, blood-draining fucking whores and transform them into valuable members of society. Tony Frog tried. Frog Tony tried. Because ultimately, this is the problem we're stuck with. We have these places of sexual hedonism and big tech internet control of the entire world that are setting up in places like California. They're hoarding females to live unsustainable, non-reproductive, anti-natalist lifestyle. And they're spreading their toxic porn all over the country. They're living off, they're enriching themselves out of the false dreams that they cultivate in the males of the whole nation. And at some point, you have to see this as racketeering. Interstate racketeering, romance criminality. This is what's happening. And it's grave. It's grave. Because it leads to the accumulation of resources by women in liberal areas that are staying liberal forever. And it leads to this culture of we will mock any attempt at approaching the queen, the untouchable porn queen, who must be adored and protected by all of our ultra simps. Because Frog Tony trying to shoot his shot in DMs, that may make for a good laugh if you take it out of context. But the real simps are those that are around this woman, exploiting her sexuality for fooling other males. The real simps are the pimps. And there's a pimpery system that's establishing itself on the internet with OnlyFans, where a bunch of males who are literally cocks, like in the literal sense of it, in that they specialized in charming females, being so acceptant of their sexual liberties that they let and use these females as their objects of display on the internet by letting them being OnlyFans whores. Now that's a simp. That's a fucking beta. To make the commerce of the body of your female, to fool a million other males into thinking that maybe she's attracted to them. And some of these guys, some of these beta husbands of these whores, they are down to even sometimes typing for her. They are down to faking relationships with the male simps of the OnlyFans subscription. Sometimes they act out as if they are their wife. That's how reduced you've been, that you can't even find a good occupation for yourself. You have to fake being the female that you married or the female that you're with. You have to accept her turning her pussy into commerce, into an object of commerce. It's very grave what's setting up, but so that's the situation we're in. We have this girl. She's exploiting her body in the comic specific community by generating this cosplay, like Japanese style sexual elf, fantastic Dungeon and Dragon themed or whatever that is. And she has an OnlyFans. Welcome to my saucier page, where I post nudes, and clips of me being overall slutty and extra naughty. Okay. Now this girl, for exposure and for elevation of her social status, because she probably one of the big problems that OnlyFans whores are dealing with is that there's so many OnlyFans, there's very few OnlyFans women who are succeeding at making any money from it. You need to be able to meme. You need to be able to go viral. And so she starts engaging with the community, deciding that she's headed toward a specific type of viral success within the comics community. And she approaches a man, Frog Tony, and they approach each other in... So Frog Tony is this small streamer. Frogman, Frog Tony, the fabulous Frogman. Okay, so he's a blue frog themed streams. I've watched so many of these streams just to understand what this community is about. Still very confusing to me, but something about comics or whatever. Comics Gate. And she approaches him. Well, they kind of get together in June 2024 through streaming, super chatting each other. There's some relation that develops. Perhaps it's Frog Tony seeing that she's starting to stream, starting to build her YouTube channel. And Frog Tony decides to invite her on his streams to elevate her popularity. This gives her an occasion to talk to geeks, to talk about geek stuff. This is very common in the live streaming community. Someone is a new rising person. They're not a star yet. They're absolutely unknown. And you have more established streamers that will invite these people on stream to elevate them and to give them an opportunity to grow. Because if you're ignored by everyone in this business, doesn't matter, even if you're an e-girl with nice boobs or whatever, you need kind of a ladder. And Frog Tony visibly is willing to be that ladder early in her rise. He's willing to be that ladder, and I would say that the relationship that he entertains with her in DM then is a very typical relationship for older males with younger, cute girls. It is a half, I would put my dick in your mouth right now, and half, I'm kind of a father figure to you, and I want to care for you. I want to allow you growing. I want to introduce you to the live streaming world. Very, very common. Because there is something in the male brain about that kind of crosses the border between sexual attraction and father figure type of admiration. And as the male gets older and he's faced with these cute new generation of women below his own generation, it's very easy to get attached and to see a kind of shining potential in the young woman. And of course, you want to get your dick wet at the same time, but you're also appreciating it for the non-sexual aspect of it. And this is what I see in Frog Tony. Basically, he, of course, like any guy, like you look at this girl, you're going to take a blowjob from this girl any day, of course. But at the same time, Frog Tony, of course, like any man would have taken the blowjob, but he's engaging with her in a way where he finds some degree of non-sexual interest with her. In a very classy way, while interspacing his communications with her by these little sexual banters that she doesn't push back on. She lets him continue his sexual banter and engages in some of her own. So it's like there is nothing in there. Like I looked through the whole DM conversation. There is nothing like sexual harassment of any kind. There is nothing even misplaced. It is actually a heartwarming, overly polite, overly respectful approach of extreme checking for consent, extreme are you comfortable with this, or do you want me to do this differently, and do you want to meet physically? Yes, I do. Okay, well, and then will you be jealous if I'm with other male because I'm an OnlyFans whores? No, I won't be if you don't want me to be, etc. So it's like, Terra Firma describes this as a surrogate daughter. Yes, and it's something that prostitutes are experts at exploiting. You have to know this as a male. If you interact with any woman who's a prostitute, even if it's in the hope of getting her out of this world, and even if it's in a non-prostitutive way that you engage with her, just know that women are experts at blood-sucking old men through this. They kind of have an instinctive understanding of where they can put you into a position of admiration, of non-sexual admiration that pushes you to spit out money and to spit out forms of support for her. So what we have at the beginning of the relationship, I can fix her, says DK Shadow. Yes. And ELDR, thank you very much for the super chat. So what we have at the beginning of the relationship is a whole period of about 6 months in which Dirty Dalish will appear as a geeky part of the panel of the Frog Tony stream, and will engage in her own unsolicited sexual banter and sexual displays. So here's a sample of what we get here at the beginning of the relationship. So the girl just comes on their stream. Of course, the super chat starts getting higher because can you imagine a bunch of 3 male geeks talking about comics to a crowd of 5 watchers? And then suddenly the elf girl shows up and starts showing ass.
It's okay.
Yeah. No, like I said, we appreciate it. And Dalish owes you a ooh dance.
Am I allowed to Ulu dance? What happened to the pew pew dance?
Either one. Whatever you want to do.
Thank you, Posy Bear.
So apparently, I guess this is some. Is it the kind of dance that people are doing on stream where they do kind of emoji reactions and you pay like 5 cents and they have to do something? I guess it was a simulacrum of this.
I figured if you got up to do pew pew, you might fall over and kill yourself. So
No, I could still. It's just I'm not wearing.
So she's a hypersexualized, kind of out there brain showing up in a community of super geeks. And it's like, oh God, it's like, these guys are going to be happy. Like the 5 watchers of this stream, they're going to start popping up cash. It's like, oh, wow. A female in short skirt.
Yeah.
And on top of it, she's talking to us about geeky stuff and liking our themes and our comics. YouTube commenter says, this whole thing started when Dick Masterson read the Frog Tony / Dallas text live on his podcast, The Biggest Problem in the Universe. We really need to get JF on that show to discuss TRP. Well, I've been on the Dick Masterson podcast before, and I will tell you, I'm already in contact with Dick, and we're studying what could be a nice opportunity in the coming months to see if I can get on his show. It will depend on the news developments and what we talk about. So here we have a OnlyFans woman who is coming to be sexy on a geek stream. She's elevating the audience and the super chat numbers as she comes. And so you have a Frog Tony here who starts being kind of interested in this woman because she's responding to him in DM and she's showing up on his stream and being sexy and on top of it, making more cash for the show.
I'm wearing a bikini this time. I don't know if it's exciting for me to get up.
it was scary for me because you reached down and I was like, oh.
So she has these kind of, I don't know if I'm beautiful. I don't know if it's sexy right now. Woman, we would put our dick inside of you even on a dirty day.
Shit, she might flip up her skirt and kill the stream. So
I told you. This outfit, perfect. Nothing.
I like it. I agree.
There's something weird about these hypersexual women. It's uncomfortable almost, the way they're kind of reducing themselves to hypersexualism and showing like inflated ass shows like this. It's like I have the impression we're dealing with an animal to an extent, like a dumb rat of some kind, or a monkey. It makes me very uncomfortable. But I know the behavior is out there. Her behavior is not particularly exceptional. I don't know what causes this. So that's how it starts in June 2024. And she keeps showing up and she keeps interacting with Frog Tony. So it's like absolutely not out of place for Frog Tony to start saying, hey, this is a girl who's showing interest, who's getting into our lives, of course, in a virtual way. But of course, you're gonna shoot your shot. This is textbook what you have to do. So some degree of sexual banter starts happening in the private conversation. So he's saying, well, I was on the bus, rewatching your ass or your video appearance or whatever, and it was fine, but everyone on the bus was probably wondering why I had a boner. So just absolutely typical, starting to display, hey, you're making my dick hard, maybe I could inseminate you. And she's joking about it and finding it funny, laughing my ass off. Better than public masturbation, right? So just regular, basic sexual banter. They're talking about cosplay. They're talking about comics. She's talking about the difficulty of being an e-prostitute. So I'm guessing it pays a lot better. And she says, occasionally, during Christmas time is the worst time to be an e-girl. So she's talking about how in Christmas times there is more demand for e-girls. It seems that males feel more lonely and they have more demands for closeness. So we have here a frog Tony who is getting special access to a woman without at first, it seems, paying. I don't have strict evidence or direct evidence that he's never subscribed to our OnlyFans, but it's possible. I think he may have never subscribed to our OnlyFans. At least it seems to be that their relation is para OnlyFans. So Ava Cigar says, what's the controversy? That's the thing. They're trying to cancel this guy for being a simp and trying to shoot his shot with this woman. But it's like, hey, she shows outside of her OnlyFans account. She approaches these guys. She maintains the contact with these guys. She jokes around with sex. And she shows up on their stream showing ass and stuff. What is the point at which it becomes decent to shoot your shot with a woman? Because I would have shot my shot with this woman about 3 months before Frog Tony did. Okay? Like, at the moment where she says hello, I would have been like, when do I inseminate you, my dear elf? So he comments on her comments about prostitution and OnlyFans. What? I would have thought the simps would be out in full force to give you presents. I do have an opening for sorry, I was refreshing my window here. I do have an opening for pet elf girl if you want to apply for this position. So that's one of the things that people are laughing about. It's the kind of ridiculousness of the simping, of the approach, which mixes themes of sex and elf themed porn. But it's like, I guess this is how you approach an elf themed porn woman. I guess yeah, you cannot not mention the elephant in the room, that she constantly dresses as an elf and tries to turn on men as an elf. You have to mention it. And so she says, oh yeah, so she's playing into it. She's saying, what's the job description for being your pet elf girl? He says basically some light cooking, cleaning, and you have to be open to be taken at my whims and filled with cum. Like, oh, this is just bold male talk in an elf porn context. This is not mockable. It is actually just being playful. Basically, he's offering a wife position that he calls a pet elf girl. And he says, I could care for you and you would cook for me, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with this. Now he sends a picture. She comments on him being tall. Wow, you're so tall. I'm not one of those gals that says you gotta be 6 or get out of my DMs. But being taller than me is super hot. I just woke up. Forgive me if my messages are dumb. So, this is her saying to him that he's super hot. Well, she doesn't straight out say you are super hot, but she says, wow, you are tall. I find men who are tall super hot. So clearly this is romance exploitation. Frog Tony is not unjustified in believing that perhaps there's a shot to be had with this girl. She's suggesting that he's super hot. So, I mean, at this point, there is nothing that Frog Tony can say that would be out of place. She has suggested it. They continue collaborating, and he's commenting positively about her appearances on stream. You were great, very fun, and you fit in with the style of crazy that our shows are known for. So he's complimenting her and saying, good job in your appearance. The people loved your appearances, etc. She is enjoying the fact that the chat with her during the live streams are positive. The people are positive about her. I was surprised to see the chat was fairly gentle with me. I am small and breakable, though. Oh geez, I probably should have finished reading your other message before saying that. So people enjoy her presence, and he sends pictures of himself. Here's the picture that she was commenting on. And there I say, like, wow, bad choice of shirt. Bad choice of shirt and bad angle. Man, when you want to charm a woman, be sure that you choose the angle properly. High angle, down onto you, including your face in it, and not a shirt with a comics pattern on top of it. Even if within the comics community, this is unacceptable as a picture. But she has been commenting positively on his physique. Here's another picture. Again, terrible choice of shirt. You cannot be that geeky that you are basically photographing yourself with a patterned shirt that looks like it's a 8-year-old Walmart shirt. That doesn't work. You need no patterns, you need colors, and you need to highlight your muscles and highlight your body shape and posture. Never straight, always up, always down, never in the reflection of a mirror. Anyways, those are the basics of camera work. She responds positively about receiving these pictures. New selfie for the year. Heart eyes. Heart, heart, heart. Heart, heart, heart. This is both how a normal woman who has interest in you will react, but it's also how a OnlyFans whore will exploit you. So you have to be careful as a man. But of course, as a man, you don't have a responsibility to know that you're being scammed. As long as you're engaging in this relationship at low cost, what you can do is attempt your shot without leaking any money. And so eventually he makes the offer. Do you want to appear every Saturday on on our stream. And she accepts and starts showing up. Now you're going to have one phenomenon when you engage with these social escalators that women are. Eventually they will take something from you and they will then step over your dead body. And what Dirty Dalish used Frog Tony for was to elevate herself in the comics geek live streaming community until Frog Tony used his contact with Dick Masterson and allowed promoted Dirty Dalish so that she would appear on Dick Masterson. So that elevated the rise to popularity of Dirty Dalish. And at that point, you see a clear pattern in the DM. There is a sudden loss of interest. So she maintains the interest, gives hope to Frog Tony, heart eyes, oh my God, you're tall, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Not you're beautiful, but oh, I find men tall beautiful, and oh, you're tall. But when she gets her contacts that allow her elevation on the live streaming business, independent of Frog Tony, use and discard, says DK Shadow. Yes, Frog Tony has been used and discard because 1 month after Frog Tony writes to Dick Masterson, hey, I have this sexy girl. She's willing to be hot on stream. She has demonstrated being hot on stream before. She does it on our streams. She can be in a bikini on your stream. And what do we have 1 month later? Dirty Dalish appears in bikini on Dick Masterson's stream. She has gotten elevated by Frog Tony. She has used them up to the point where she could rise from it. And here she is in that appearance.
War started.
No, okay, we already covered that one. This is the war game. Okay.
Oh no.
You got to tell me what year. And if you're listening at home, this is how you do this game. Don't do your own version of it because it's not funny. The game is tell me what year the following wars started. Okay? Revolutionary War.
Oh my God. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Well, you know what year it is right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta. It's first of all, I'll give you a hint. It's a year that's lower than the one that we're in.
That really helps. It really.
You know what year Jesus was born, right?
BC.
Almost.
I guess that's true.
Almost. Can you narrow it down to a number?
I don't want to guess bad.
Yes, end of the line. Joel says her silly girl shtick is sickening. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's heartbreaking in a way. It's hard to describe how I feel about these women. It's like they don't have really a brain inside their cranium, and it's kind of, how do I treat this object? How do I approach the fact that there is a human form that is sexually attractive, but that also is somewhere between comatic and perhaps a monkey or whatever in terms of intelligence? It's hard to handle. Like, it's hard to handle for the heart. Lapida says, JF, these female monkey branch behaviors are often originating beyond her conscious mind. It is the same as when a man knows that a woman is a fun-time girl, he will lose respect for her subconsciously. Absolutely. And this is something that we need to fix in society, because justifiably men are discarding woman emotions and woman statements, because it's like, you're spamming me with lies, you're spamming us with absolute disloyalty and untrustability, And it's like, yeah, at some point I have to discard literally everything that comes out of a woman's mouth. But at the same time, then the reaction happens on the woman's side, and women see men as exploitable objects to be walked over. And all of this must be fixed if we want a healthy society, and we're not anywhere close to it. So then we have a period during which, after her appearance on Dick Masterson, and she elevates her popularity and elevates her status on the internet, she stops engaging with Frog Tony as much as Frog Tony would have wanted. Eventually, there is a possibility to meet her, and they talk about meeting physically. He says, do you want me to fly to LA and see you at this party? And she says yes. She's enthusiastic about it. So it's like, don't say yes if you then want to mock the guy for trying to meet you. Don't say yes and then appear on streams, because we'll get to the later portion of the relationship. But then appear on stream to mock him for simping. No, it's like you've given all of these signs of consent and interest. And throughout these signs that she was giving, and he's like, do you want to meet physically? Do you want us to have a dinner or something? She says yes. Very happy about it, very willing to engage in it. So he's like, but she's like, but I'm afraid, will you be offended if there's other guys around me and they show interest in me? And a very gentlemanly Frog Tony says, well, do you want me to be jealous? Do you want me to be annoyed by other men being around you? Or do you want me to not be? And she says, I don't want you to be. I want you to leave me with, leave these other guys show interest in me. So Frog Tony says, all right, then I won't be. So it's like, this is not a overly possessive Frog Tony who's trying too hard and trying to restrict her career as OnlyFans. This is a guy who has accepted. Okay, well, I would be honored to have a sandwich with you. And that's all I need from you. And if you tell me that you're not interested in anything else, then there won't be anything else. So the fact that this guy is now getting mocked for this is ridiculous. Because this is, he acted in a very, very conservative, preemptive, and constant checking and constant ensuring way at every point. Now, eventually in the conversation, they talk about this physical meeting, and she says the dreaded sentence that every simp will hear once in their life. She clarifies and states it unequivocally. You know that we're not going to have sex, right? So after engaging in this sexual banter, after say, oh, you're tall, and oh, I love tall men and heart eyes, and oh yeah, I'm gonna go on your stream and look, that's my ass, and oh, here's a little private pic for you that I sent to no other male. After all of this, after sending personal no bottom pictures of her pussy to this guy, she says, you know we won't have sex, right? It's like, at what point do we just declare this is fraud? At what point do we start putting women in jail for this crap? And he doesn't even react badly to this. He's like, okay, you don't want us to have sex? No problem. I'll just schedule the flight to eat a sandwich with you, and that's it. And we'll be at the party, and we may cross, but the party will be a little too busy, so then we'll eat a sandwich next day. The guy is willing to fly across the nation and reserve a hotel room for the opportunity to be at a party, and then use the opportunity to get a sandwich with his now co-host, a woman who shows up on his stream who shows short skirt and ass on his stream. He wants to have a sandwich with her, and he's fine with everything that she demands and all of the limits that she imposes. And we're supposed to be scandalized by this? I'm scandalized by this fucking woman who shows her pussy to this guy and then tells him, you're not gonna get that. Can't touch this. Can't touch. I mean. So, just to show you how women they have no loyalty. So you've seen the story now. We have a man who's sexually turned on intentionally by this girl who is showing signs of interest. Who is showing private parts of herself to him, apparently without him being even subscribed to her OnlyFans. So she's entertaining the sexual exploitation of him to elevate herself to internet celebrity, a small internet celebrity. I mean, we're talking about niche stuff here, but she's still doing it. And then she goes on in even recent streams to look back at those DMs with him and mock him. And she does what a lot of women do. Decided, oh, I did that, but, you know, I was pressured at the time. Oh, yeah, I did these things. I did lead him on. I did go on his stream, but he was emotionally manipulative to... By the way, I've reviewed the whole DMs. There was no emotional manipulation. This was just a guy who obviously was interested at having her on the stream, and she shows up. So, of course, as a streamer, you're going to take it, you know. You're not going to complain. This girl, this cute girl just shows up on my stream. That's more eyes to my stream. That's more money. I'm happy. And not only that, he's not really exploiting her because he takes all of this money that he's making and all of these extra super chats, and he's actually being super generous to her. He's sending her the super chat money. He's even paying her meals. Now, there's this bizarre thing where he considers that she's so thin that she has to eat more to keep herself healthy. And it's like, well, you know, the kind of porn that she does is anorexic porn, basically, disguised as elf porn. So it's like, don't send her burgers, but somehow he keeps using these delivery services to make sure that she's well fed. Don't forget to eat. I would say to guys, never do that. Because first, you don't even know that the woman will eat the food. Secondly, it's, you know, you are losing a lot of money. You're leaking energy into the stupid Uber Eats economy. You're paying a bunch of leftists with their cars who are driving this food. If you have some money to send to a woman, make sure that she's pregnant first, and then send her money. Don't send her something that she may not need. Doubting Thomas says, did JF discover the reincarnation of the Sargon Anita saga? Well, in a way, these guys are reminding me very much about the tension between feminism and anti-SJWism of the Sargon days. It's fascinating to me that this still exists. I didn't know about this. Like, there is still a community within the comics world saying we are the anti-SJW comics fans. I find this fucking hilarious that there are cycles of the world like this, where my experience of the internet back in 2013 was, okay, there's this old Gamergate revolution, right? And now we have this Comicsgate people who are just streaming about this, about comics and how comics shouldn't be invaded by SJW mentality. But I appreciate that they exist. It is it must be something to be a fan of cultural products of any kind, whether it's game or comics, and to see the invasion of the female mentality of SJWism, really, of the eternal female victim. And in this particular case, what's hilarious about it is we have a true male victim of romance scam, basically. We have a true male victim who has been shown explicit signs of interest, who has been cultivated into a friendship, and then the woman goes on stream now, in the last few months, and is trying to shame him for this period of their life where he was friendly to her, where he was engaging in sexual banter that she was responsive to, where she was showing on his stream and acquiring a rise in celebrity from it and using his contacts like Dick Masterson to elevate further her OnlyFans. That's a guy who gave a lot to you, lady. And now she comes and, oh, well, you know, I was appearing on his stream, but I wasn't really agentic in all of this. He was just emotionally manipulating me.
I don't know why you care, Tony.
Yeah.
But I remember when he initially asked me to do the stream with Ray, I said I didn't want to. I didn't think it was a good idea.
Having seen the DMs, I have not seen these sentences. What I've seen in the DM is he's offering that she comes on, and at some point she comes on. I've not seen I don't think it's a good idea.
I remember him begging me and saying that if I was a good friend, I would care about his happiness.
I have not seen these sentences in DMs. Not on the DMs that I've consulted. So if she has such statements of him, I'd be curious to see them. But in the messages I've been reviewing, there was no trace of emotional manipulation for her appearances on the streams. What there was is she showed up from June to August 2024. She showed up, and you can see she's even taken it up upon herself to do sexual things on the stream. And she engages in the geeky talk. She discusses the geeky comics and stuff and release or whatever. She doesn't seem like she has a gun at her head.
Oh, whoa.
Like you guys were making him depressed. And so the least that I could do for him was go on
You
that
guys were
stream
making
and say
Tony
that you were weird.
depressed?
So this narrative that, I have these live streamers who are making me depressed, therefore you have to come on the stream to make me happy with your ass or whatever. I've not seen this in the DMs. I've not seen this. What I've seen is a Frog Tony who's professional while engaging in some degree of sexual banter. But like, of course, you're going to engage in this. The girl is at all times hypersexual. She's on your stream and showing ass and ooh-woo and ah. It's like, what do you expect? That you're going to have a strict DM conversation that has no allusion to sex and interest at all? She keeps showing interest for him. So my conclusion on this story is we have a case of a woman who's been showing interest intentionally for the purpose of manipulation from the start. Eventually, this small live streamer that Frog Tony is, eventually he outlived his due date, basically, for her. And once she had used him to the maximum and she perceived further opportunity for growth once that she had secured this Dick Masterson contact, she grew out of Frog Tony. And Frog Tony was very classy throughout the whole thing. So it's not like there is anything to be reproached to this guy. This guy saw a rising star and tried to position himself so that he would have a shot at it. That's absolutely fine. We should encourage this. Don't worry about the result. Don't worry about the fact that he didn't get his dick wet. That's, That's part of the game. Everyone accepts it, and he seems to be absolutely accepting it. But don't mock him for trying. Yes, his name is Frog Tony. Plapides says, JF, her perception of him changed, so she has to retcon their history to maintain her mental consistency. If she betrays a loser, then she's righteous. If she betrays a decent guy, then she's bad. Exactly. Women enter into post-narratives where they reinvent the story. They reinvent the story. It's like, first, it doesn't even make sense. You would have gone onto a stream of a guy because he manipulates you emotionally by saying he's sad? Are you fucking retarded? No one does this. It doesn't make sense as a story. What does make sense is your explanation. She is now looking for a reason why, oh, well, you know, I was on these streams, but I didn't really want to be there. It's like, this is the same thing with my exes. It's like, oh, well, I was having sex with JF for 2 years. But in my mind, I was like, hey, he's kind of a loser. And I don't know that I want to have all this sex with him. It's like, no. You are making up post-event justifications for what you've done. And just be careful, guys. This kind of woman is out there and they are fucking vampires. Fucking blood-draining succubus vampire. The devil would be ashamed beside of these women in terms of capacity for Machiavellian plotting. They are willing to victimize millions of men at like machines to elevate themselves financially and socially. Those are level 4 demons walking among us. Plapides says, I was in love with him for 2 years, but after he dumped me, then I realized he was abusing me. Yes, exactly. Oh, God. I mean, it's heartwarming how I've been digging in this and falling into the rabbit hole in a way that takes me like it's heartwarming to see just how much giving Frog Tony was to this girl and how she just raped him, just pillaged him like a empty village. Just burn everything down and take what you can. It's heartwarming for me because I see a guy who really has acted by the book. You know, when I tell you guys, always act like you're on the record. That's exactly the kind of situation where you want to always act like you're on the record. Because now that we see the record and they're trying to ruin the reputation of this guy, it's like there's nothing in the record. In fact, everything in the record indicates that this poor guy has been exploited and has been walked over by a fucking vampire. And you're asking me to cancel this guy? Fuck you. There's only one thing that can be criticizing. No, I don't mean heartbreaking. I mean heartwarming. Because I see in Frog Tony the possibility for actual love. See, Frog Tony decided it is an honor to be just even considered as a friend by this great beauty, and I will give her everything like a father would. I will elevate her. I will give. I will check every step, the consent. Do you want to have a sandwich with me, or do you not want this? Do you want us to have sex, or do you not want this? And the guy decided to give all without asking for anything back. So no, I'm not heartbroken. There is reason to be heartbroken if you're him. And if you had hope, but I don't think he is that heartbroken. I think that he has acted in ways that is overly generous and overly idealistic, and it is to be commended, his behavior through it all. And it's amazing that this kind of guy, because I'm also this kind of idealist, we end up being subject to campaigns of soiling. All the dirty campaigns you've seen against me in the last, with my last 100 wives, basically, they all do the same thing. It's like they can't take true goodness. And I believe that there are some people who are just too good for the world. And perhaps Frog Tony is one of those. Just too good for the fucking monkeys that we live among. We live among them. And just the fact that this exists, a guy who gave his all, who took his shot, it gives me hope for humanity. It gives me hope that there will always be a bit of goodness inside of us. But the behavior of this girl to act like post-consent, like, oh, I didn't really consent to being on this stream. No, I've reviewed the streams. You're engaging in them voluntarily. I've reviewed the messages of him to you. He's inviting you to these streams and you're coming on. And eventually, when you get to your Dick Masterson new lifestyle and new exposure, you drop him under the bus and you stop responding to the DMs, which is totally fine. Totally fine. It's like she has the right to not be interested in being on Frog Tony's stream anymore. But what she doesn't have the right to do, what she shouldn't have the right to do, is to then reinterpret this whole period of her life as, oh well, I was being emotionally manipulated. I'm a victim. He was forcing me on stream with arguments. No, this did not happen. And even if he had used some degree of, hey, I need you on stream. I need you on stream. I don't feel good right now. You would prop me up. Even if he had said these things, which I don't see him doing. It's still your responsibility to consent. You cannot complain 1 year later, oh, well, I gave my consent and I showed up, but I didn't really want it. That's post-event walk back. And it's the same thing they do with rape. It's like they redefine rape so that consent can be withdrawn 1 year later. It's like, oh, 10 years later, this guy became a politician. And suddenly, yes, I do realize now that I've been raped by him. Okay. This is all I had to say today. What a crazy story that this has been happening. And it's out there and it generates all this crap coverage on these low-level live streams of extremely tribal people. My understanding is that ultimately this guy is hated by this new community that's forming around these people. Apparently they hate this guy, Frog Tony, and they want to ruin his reputation. And the reason it seems is that they're kind of more like SJW siding, whereas Frog Tony is more anti-SJW in the comics world. And it's always what they will do to anyone who has some degree of right wing or some degree of resistance to the female matriarchy. They will just crack down on you with, even if they have nothing, they will take DMs that actually highlights your honorability and they will mock you with it because it's not about the DMs and it's not about the simping. It's about the fact that there are a bunch of people who are so pathetic that they are willing to settle for being beta arbiters of a porn star. Like that's low. There's the husband who accepts being cucked. That's pretty low. But there are people who are so desperate in life that the mere presence of a woman around them in their live stream, they will settle for this and they will they will try to groom her into believing that her arguments are valid and that she is justified in doing her psychopathic raping of male corpse that she does. And those are very sad people. They are people who have given up in life. ELDR says, Frog Tony is one testosterone injection away from becoming clavicular. It's a shame because it destroys the goodness of the world. Rodid Acid says, I paid my taxes, but I regret it and I did not consent, so I would like to retract them. All right, so that is what I had to say today. I don't intend to comment on this thing very much because it's a story that is just a fascinating one-shot visit that I've done of this community. But how fascinating that these biological behaviors, they're out there and they exist. Men get scammed all the time. And in this case, I don't believe that Frog Tony got overly scammed to a point of losing much. He's basically seen an opportunity for growth for his live streaming, got a growth of audience from it, and participated in a very fatherly behavior toward the OnlyFans whore by elevating her. But she moved on from him, and that's it. But it's okay to move on. It's okay that she moved on. Sometimes live streamers, they outgrow each other, and a collaboration that is fit when both are small, if one of them becomes bigger or moves on to other things, suddenly the collaboration becomes impossible. But it's not okay to shit over your history and your legacy. It's not okay to shit over the people who have been so loyal to you and generous to you. If I were her, I would amend this campaign of attacks against him, and I would say, you know what? Our discussions may have been cringy, but I'm now who I am, partly because of these geeky interactions we've had on his stream. And let us move forward in harmony and love. That is all I have to say. Bye-bye.